RuneScape 3's new tutorial, Davendale, has no level restrictions, and that is very exciting, at least for me, since I am a, you can call it, tutorial area enjoyer in games, starting with Rookguard in Tibia, then Pre-Searing in Guild Wars. I've been a fan of playing tutorial areas in games ever since I was a young teen, but my main game, RuneScape, never had a good tutorial for that, mostly because they were very linear, but also because they were heavily limited with levels. You can only level up until level 3. Actually, if we start way back in the beginning, on Tutorial Island in RuneScape Classic, probably due to Jagex's oversight, you could level up woodcutting and fire making past level 3, actually probably up to level 99, although I haven't heard of anyone that got level 99 in any of those skills on Tutorial Island in Classic. But I really doubt they would set like a level limit of 98 or something. But in the transition to RuneScape 2, that was fixed. The max level for every skill trainable in the tutorial was level 3, and that was, as far as I know, the thing in every single tutorial that occurred later on, up until now, where we have Davendale, which is the new, I say new, it actually is 2 years old. It was added in 2021, but it's new for me because I haven't heard anything about it, and that's probably because you need to create a character through mobile to access it. And it's not guaranteed. I had to create both a new email and select that I'm a new player when creating my character. And I had to do it through mobile, and then I was able to create a character in Davendale, and then I could log in to that account on my PC. Anyway, so what can you even do here? If you progress through the tutorial, you're tasked with helping the town of Davendale by either fighting trolls or fishing fish and providing supplies to the fighters. And that's it. Also, the area is extremely limited in terms of the interface. If you check the settings, you cannot switch your attack styles, so you are stuck with training only attack and hit points, or constitution since this is RS3, and you cannot change your skills. They are automatically used, but you can't really see that. You're given one sword, and you can drop a bronze shield. That's 1 out of 5 from those guys, and you can just fight them training only attack, meaning you get slapped constantly, and you can't even check your own HP. You can only see your HP bar during combat. So you constantly, even if you train your combats a little bit, you constantly need to be fishing, because otherwise they will just hit you very hard. So this is combat. Now there is also the fishing and cooking portion. You can fish 2 types of fish. At level 1 you can fish minnows, and starting at level 2 you can fish davio, which are only limited to this area, and they give slightly more fishing and cooking XP. But if you see, when I start fishing, we will level up to level 23, I believe, yes, 23 fishing, which means that there are most likely no level caps. I also have level 17 attack, level 14 HP, and level 23 cooking also. So that is about it with what you can do. You are given a sword for combat, and you are given a fishing rod, and there is a range here to cook the fish. And you don't have your tool belt, because the tool belt is the reward for completing the tutorial and accessing the mainland. There are some trees here, but you cannot chop them. If you click to chop the tree, nothing happens, and that's because you don't have a tool belt. So you can train those 4 skills, and that's it. So even though the gameplay is... let me rephrase that. Even though there are no level caps, the gameplay is extremely limited. Or so I thought. See, the game's lying to you. you're given the tool belt at the very start of the game, and even though you cannot chop those trees and all the other ones are locked behind gates or something, you can chop this one. And a couple other ones. If we go back to the forest where we came from, there are a couple more trees. And you might think, well, this is just one more skill to train, right? We have our hatchet somehow, and we can train wood cutting. Well, wood cutting allows us to light fires, which also lets us train fire making. Woohoo! Big deal, right? Well, no, if we get more logs, as you can see from the arrow shafts and the unstrung shortbow in my inventory, we can also train fletching. And in RuneScape 3, fletching is a free-to-play skill, so we can get 99s in attack, HP, wood cutting, fire making, fletching, fishing, and cooking, theoretically, if you're crazy enough to play here. You cannot actually get a bowstring, so you cannot make a short bow, and you don't have access to feathers. There are actually chickens in the village, but you cannot even attack them. They're not attackable even if we find a way to get to them or find a way to make a ranged attack. You cannot actually do anything to them. But that's already quite a good amount of skills train. But there is one more skill that we can train actually in an extremely slow way. And that is Herblore. As you can see, I have 1 XP. Since Herblore is a member skill, there is a level 5 cap. I don't know how much XP is level 5, but getting 1 XP at a time will be very slow. But it's technically possible to get level 5 Herblore. And you get it via ashes. When this fire runs out, it will leave ashes, and we can grind them down using a pestle and mortar that we have in our toolbox that the game doesn't tell you about. And that gives 1 Herblore XP. So yeah, we can train fire making, and let's make something with fletching, so just so I can showcase that. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 skills to train. But wait, there is one more theoretical skill that you can train, which is even slower than Herblore. And let me showcase the Herblore thing real quick. We can grind them, and that gives us 1 Herblore XP. Fantastic. If you cut trees and get more logs than 1, you can make bonfires. Actually, let me chop this tree, and I will show you in a spot with more trees. Here are the chickens I was talking about earlier. As you can see, they only have the examine option. You cannot even target them. So here's the place with a little more trees that you can cut. Actually, before we get to chopping, I just wanted to point out that this bench, when you come here for the first time, it's broken and you can repair it. It has the construction icon when you're doing that, but it doesn't give you any construction XP. So scam game, and you can sit on it. Yes, riveting stuff. Anyways, you can chop those trees, and if you get more logs than 1, you can begin bonfire training. Probably we should get a full inventory for that, but I'll just get 2 more logs for the showcase purposes. And in RuneScape 3, when you train via bonfires, you have a chance to spawn fire spirits. They stand around for a minute, and if you click them, they give you a boost to the next logs you bonfire, a little bit of XP boost, so that is pretty cool. And they give you an item which you can open to get some other rewards, most important of which are runes. I'm not sure if we would be able to cast any spells. Maybe using mobile, because mobile has more interface options unlocked, and I just wasn't sure. For example, as you can see, we cannot check our items worn, but you can do that on mobile, not on PC though. So maybe on mobile we would be able to cast spells with the runes that we get from the fire spirit. And the second reward is some gems. They are uncut, and one of them is an opal. So you can cut them at level 1. So theoretically, if you got lucky and you got a fire spirit and you got even luckier and you got an opal, you can cut it. And if you get lucky for the third time and don't crash it, you get 15 crafting XP. And if you crash it, you get like 3. So theoretically, very theoretically, that is one more skill to train. And I'm telling you all this because I love tutorial areas in games, and I'm really happy to see RuneScape 3 having this. I discovered all of this today when I decided to log back in and fish for a little bit, and I noticed you can actually chop a tree, and that unlocked this whole cascade of possibilities. So I'm pretty interested in seeing if maybe we can find out some more training methods. They can be slow as hell, but if they're possible, that is interesting to me. So anyways, that will be it for the video. I will not be trying to get the fire spirit on camera because that's gonna probably take ages. But I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had a fantastic day. And tell me if you're passionate about the tutorial areas as I am. I don't expect anyone to be, but if you're crazy like I am, just please let me know so I know I'm not the only one. Anyways, hope you had a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.